Hi, I did my research on genetics, more specifically, mutations. The whole research was done to answer the question, how would a chromosome result in a mutation and how would it affect the organism? What is a mutation in the first place? A mutation is a change that occurs in our DNA sequence, and it is either due to mistakes within the replication of the DNA or environmental factors such as UV light or cigarette smoke. There are many types of mutations that can be grouped according to their effects on the structure, the function, and the physical characteristics of the organism. Mutations also range in size. They can affect a single DNA block or even a large segment of chromosomes, affecting multiple genes. There are two ways to classify gene mutations: hereditary mutations, known as the germline, which are inherited from the parent and are present in every cell in the body, and then somatic mutations, which are present only in certain cells in the body and are caused by the environmental factors, as I said, the UV light and the cigarette smoke. Most disease-causing gene mutations are uncommon in the general population. However, other genetic changes occur more frequently. Genetic alterations that occur in more than 1% of the population are called polymorphisms. They are common enough to be considered a normal variation in the DNA. What are the different types of mutations? So, as I said, there are many different types of mutations that a person can have, but some include point mutation, which is a mutation that affects one or a very few nucleotides in a gene. So there are two types of point mutations: missense mutation and nonsense mutation. So for missense mutation, it occurs within a change in one DNA base pair, resulting in a substitution of one amino acid for another in a protein made by a gene. While the nonsense is the mutation that changes one DNA base pair, but instead of substituting the amino acid, the altered would signal a stop. This results in a shortened protein that may function improperly or not at all. The second type of mutation is the frameshift mutation. This type of mutation occurs when there is an additional loss of DNA bases. This mutation shifts the grouping of these bases and changes the code for amino acids. There are three types: insertion, deletion, and duplication. Insertion occurs by adding DNA bases in which the gene may not function properly, while deletion is when there is a change in DNA bases by removing a piece of DNA. And duplication consists of a piece of DNA that is abnormally copied one or more times. There are many types of mutations that can be grouped according to their effects on the structure. Helpful mutations, in which they increase the survival of the organism. Second is the harmful mutations, in which they affect the organism by decreasing its chances of survival in the natural environment. And neutral mutations, in which they do not show any advantages or disadvantages for a person. So there's a neutral survival. So what is the solution? When damage occurs in a cell, three things can happen. Enzymes within the cell can repair the damage and the cell goes to function normally. The cell can recognize that it needs to be repaired, but it can't fix the problem. Or the enzyme fails to repair the cell and does not go through the fixation. An example of a disorder caused by a mutation is sickle cell anemia, and it is caused by a mutation in the gene that instructs the building of a protein called hemoglobin. This causes the red blood cells to become abnormal with the rigid sickle cell shaped. However, in African populations, having this mutation also protects against malaria. However, mutations can also disrupt normal gene activity and cause diseases like cancer. Cancer is the most common human genetic disease. It is caused by mutations occurring in a number of growth-controlling genes. Sometimes faulty cancer-causing genes can exist from birth, increasing a person's chance of getting cancer. In conclusion, there are different types of mutations caused by different factors and have different effects on organisms. However, it does not always affect them negatively. Thank you.